All right. Good afternoon. Good evening to some. This is your brother Daniel. All right. So I was just having a conversation, and the conversation was speaking about how, that not everybody's gonna make it, right? We know that the Father's only coming for a remnant. The remnant being a very few. And the conversation was sparked because my brother put out a video yesterday about a conversation me and him had, just saying like how, he played football too, and the conversation was sparked off of like, you do what you do for the team. When we play football for the team, you do what you did for the team. But however, you were still trying to make it to the Pro Bowl, right? Because if you're playing exceptionally well, you're in turn helping your team. And that got us off on a conversation about the kingdom. Just saying, it's the same thing. It's like loving Yah and loving your neighbor. So it's like the more and more and more I love Yah, how do I love Yah? I keep his commandments. The more and more and more I love Yah, I know that I'm loving my neighbor, or in terms of our conversation, the team. You know what I mean? So we just sparked off that conversation, but the conversation I was just finished having, was starting to, weigh a little bit, because it was like, man, it's like, this person was like, man, what else can I do? And it just shows you how slick Satan is. Because what he can do, even in this walk, is have you thinking, trying to put in your mind that, oh, you got to earn your way in. And it kind of goes off to the video I did, I want to say it was last week or a couple days ago. And I remember I made a statement in that video where I said, there's nothing I can do off my own merit to get into the kingdom. You understand that the Father loved us first. The Father loved us first, and we caused him all type of grief, all type of pain through our disobedience, through our sin and transgression. We did that. But the Father loved us first. Many times you hear, many are called, but few are chosen. My thing is to be chosen. I want to be chosen. It ain't about just saying, oh, I was called. Because you can get this in this mindset to where it's like, oh, well, I'm called, I'm his chosen, or I'm called by him. I'm called by him, so I'm good. Well, we know that's the same attitude Israel had too once they got in the wilderness, just through disobedience. It was clear that Yah was with them, but they died in the wilderness. Oh, they died in the wilderness. So when you think about it, it's like, I want to obey him, and I want to make sure this is clear as day. I obey the Father by keeping his commandments, by keeping his laws, statutes, and commands, because of what he has done for me on that tree. Because he did that. That is why I want to obey him. It's just like, let me say it this way. Okay. My wife, right? Myself, we loved our children prior to them coming into this world, right? But I look at what my first son, what he caused my wife physically as he was growing. He caused her to swell in certain areas. He caused her pain. He caused her, certain marks on her body. Contractions came. He caused her pain. And then labor came, right? And he caused her, an excruciating amount of pain. He caused my wife being delivered. However, my wife loved him. Even through all of that, she loved him. That's why she did it. And it's the same thing, not to be comparing, 'cause I ain't comparing. I'm just using it in its terms. It's kind of the same thing, right? When you look at what Hamashiach did for us, it's like, wow, we caused him so much pain. So much pain. But guess what? He loved us. He chose us before the foundation of this world. So because he chose us, I'm going to continue to serve him. I'm going to continue to keep his commands. People can't drive out here. Wow. I'm going to continue to keep his commands. I want to keep his law. I'm going to continue to keep his law because of what he's done. You know, and it's so good because should we have, it's a balance, right? Should we have a healthy fear of Yah? Absolutely. We better fear Yah. We better fear Yah in all things. But at the same time, you do realize that he's merciful. You do realize that he's loving, that he's kind. Because even when you look now, as I look at my life, as I'm growing in grace and in knowledge, as I'm growing in wisdom and understanding of his word, I look at his law now and it's like, dang, like, man, I've been doing this for a long time, didn't even realize it was sin. But the fact that I can read it now, he gives me understanding that was sin. I know I can confess it. I can renounce that sin in my life. I can repent, which is what? The turning away from that sin, not to go back to it. Because he gives me wisdom and understanding. And guess what? He's faithful. He's just to forgive me of what? All my unrighteousness. So with him forgiving me of all my unrighteousness, now I know I ain't going back to that. Because I know that something that his law told me that is sin. That's sin. I shouldn't do it. You see? The Father's so good. He's so good. He's so good. So I'm just hoping that this is just encouraging to them that have ears to hear. I'm hoping that this is encouraging to let you understand, like, look, man, don't be affected because you're hearing something that you've never, or you're hearing something that you may have heard before. But you're hearing somebody challenge you to say, look, get back, not even get back, I don't know if you ever have, but get into his word and actually start to obey it by doing it. Stop letting people tell you you don't need to obey him, obey his word, or they done away with, the law's done away with. Man, shouldn't you want to do everything he instructed? Shouldn't you want to say, I'm going to do what he says do because of what he done do? I was doomed before that. I had no chance. I had no chance, but because of what he has done for me, I'm going to do everything that I see when I read in that word. And if it's something I could do in his law, I'm going to do it. Obviously, I can't go sacrifice a goat or a lamb or a turtle dove or something right now, right? Why? Because I'm saying, by me doing that, I'm saying that Hamashiach wasn't good enough. Or, Jesus the Christ wasn't good enough. That's foolishness. That's the part of the law I'm not doing. That doesn't mean that the sacrifice still ain't there, but that's a whole nother discussion. That's the part of the law I can't do, that I won't do, because he's taking that burden off me. Can you imagine trying to get a perfect, unblemished, or trying to get a lamb perfect and go to Israel and try to get it sacrificed before priests, only to come back and have to do it again to atone for sin? That's the burden of the law. That's what Paul was talking about. But I don't got to do that because Hamashiach did that. That's why I want to serve him. That's why I want to obey the rest of his law. Yes, I want to obey his dietary law. Yes, I'll keep his feast. Yes, I'll keep his holy days, his Shabbat, his Sabbath. Yes, I'll do these things because of what he has done. I just want to encourage somebody in that, man. I just want to encourage somebody in that. I know I'm speaking very passionate right now, and I may be speaking fast, but if it's just one thing that you can hear in this video that makes you say, you know what, I'm going to start to obey him. I say I love him. Let me simplify this thing because he made it real simple. He made it real simple. You love him by keeping his commands. So I'm going to start to keep his commands. And I guarantee you this, you start doing that, start going to the letter, go to what the book says. Read the book for yourself and you start doing what is written. Not saying it, not letting somebody tell you, but you start doing it. You're going to see your life literally expand in such a way. You're going to start to see your wisdom and understanding, your peace, your joy start to expand in such a way because you know that you're doing right. There's no question. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. There's nothing. You know without a shadow of a doubt that you're doing right. And you're pleasing him by doing the works he said to do. It's really, truly a beautiful thing. He loved me first. He chose me before he said, let there be light. And because he did that, I'm going to keep his law. And I hope this encourages someone else to do the same. Don't let nobody come tell you, you can't keep his law. Yes, you can. I do it every day. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I hope this encourages somebody, man. Bless y'all.